Fire conditions developing across San Diego County. The threat of wildfires already a frightening reality in Poway after a brush fire forced families from their homes today. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
I'm Carlo Chiquetto. Right now, a red flag warning is in effect with strong winds increasing the threat of wildfires. This afternoon, fire crews jumped into action, quickly putting down a raging brush fire threatening homes in Poway.
And tonight, SDG&E is again enacting public safety power shutoffs to combat fire danger. Over the last few hours, the power outages have been rising by the thousands. You see this map right behind. This is a live look at the outage map. You can see in red where more than 12,000 customers are being left in the dark tonight, and in yellow where more than 71,000 customers still might see outages as the dry and windy weather continues.
Tonight we have team coverage on this fire danger. Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis is tracking the winds and what we can expect this week. But first, we start with CBS 8's Jasmine Ramirez live in Poway with details on today's fire and the conditions out there right now. Jasmine.
Well, tonight strong wind gusts are expected here in Poway and other areas of East County. And of course, our local fire departments, they're on high alert during this increased fire risk. Tonight, a high wind warning is in effect. Due to increased fire risk, SDG&E announced public safety power shutoffs that could impact more than 81,000 customers. The potential power outage warning is in effect from now until 5 p.m. Friday. A fire sparked this afternoon in Poway near Ted Williams Parkway and Pomerado Road. Crews used air attacks to put out the blaze.
Thankfully, the fire department was here, going down the street. My dad talked to them. So sweet. They were like, stay on by, but we'll let you know what happens. Just be ready.
Angelique's family lives in a neighborhood next to the canyon. The fire was so close to their homes, fire retardant landed on their cars. The devastating fires we saw in LA had many residents on edge.
It's wild. We were just talking last week that it could happen anywhere at any time, and so we started talking about how we try to get out. And I guess I'm glad that we had that conversation last week because we had some idea what to do today.
Strong wind gusts pose some challenges for crews, but they worked to put out the fire quickly, containing it to 3 acres. And there are several apps you can use to closely monitor those evacuations. Now, the app Genesis, it shows real-time status of the evacuations based on your location. Reporting live here in Poway, Jasmine Ramirez, CBS 8.
Thanks so much for that update, Jasmine. Now let's turn to Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis on this week's weather impact alert.
So what do we need to know right now? What's going on out there?
Right now, winds have calmed down just a little bit in some spots, but it's going to become more widespread overnight. And so that's when we get those stronger gusts. That's when you're talking about gusts upwards of about 55 to 80 miles per hour, not just for us, but across all of Southern California, or at least most of Southern California, excluding the coastal communities. But when we look at what's in effect right now and what the main focus is going to be, it's the fact that we are now going to be dealing with strong Santa Ana winds and high fire danger. We are under that red flag warning, and we will actually continue all the way through Thursday when it comes to elevated fire weather concerns, because even once we get past this red flag warning, we're talking about a fire weather watch that could turn into a red flag warning as well, and that will be starting on Wednesday evening. So the most intense wind speeds we're expecting this week is tonight through tomorrow morning, and that's with those gusts upwards of about 80 miles per hour, sustained wind speeds about 25 to 35 miles per hour, low humidity, some of the driest air that we have had so far this season when it's come to these rounds of Santa Ana winds, down to about 4%. Also talking about the driving difficulty out there, down trees and power lines, especially power lines being crucial because that could lead to a spark, and under the red flag warning for the inland valleys and the mountains, that would lead to rapid growth being very likely because of that spark when it comes to fire weather concerns. So have that evacuation plan in place. We have the red flag warning all the way until 10 p.m. for tomorrow night, as I mentioned, down to about 4% with relative humidity, and then we're getting into that window of the strongest wind speeds late tonight through tomorrow morning. That's with those gusts upwards of about 60 to 80 miles per hour. Those 80s will be for the coastal mountain slopes, and we've already had some pretty strong gusts move through earlier today. So we'll take a look at what we have had and set the clock in motion and show you just how strong they're going to get overnight coming up. Marcella.